my last home game of the season is tough. I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream. Oh, what am I doing there? I'm double playing. Apologies, guys. That was an absolutely shambolic intro, but we're here. Loads to dive into. Yes, we do play a game against Ipswich tomorrow, but there is big news. Chelsea want Randal, Kolo Muani. They're expected to make contact with PSG in the coming days. Not sure what kind of deal it's going to be. We're going to dive into that. We've also got all the latest with the centre-back scenario as well. Chelsea apparently considering Bournemouth centre-back duo Dean Hoyson, I think you pronounce it, and Zabani, I think. I mean, I probably butchered that pronunciation as well. Plus, Chelsea want £40 million release clause in full for Carney Chukwuemeka. We've got admiration for Liam Delap and loads more to dive into. Pies, thank you for coming, bro. Apologies for that shambolic intro. Yeah, let's kick things off, brother. Randal, Kolo Muani. We know, obviously, that PSG want to get rid of him. We know that he's obviously surplus to requirements at the club. They spent big money on him as well. I think they spent nearly, well, I don't know if all the add-ons were activated. They probably weren't. But that deal was worth almost 100 million euros not too long ago. I think they signed him because he was good mates with Mbappe to try and keep him at the club. He's 26 years age, French international. He's versatile, can play all across the front line. What are your thoughts on this news? Obviously, the source is quite reliable. Yeah, what do you think about it? Do you think that indicates that Nkunku might be going, or do you think that indicates that maybe they see him as a potential option instead of Mudryk because he's versatile and Mudryk's probably going to be out for a while? I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's very interesting news, and we've just been discussing it on my stream over on Playback. And yeah, I mean, look, it's from a good source. First, if I would say it's important that, you know, it could get denied in the next few hours, but it hasn't been instantly denied. It's an interesting one because I think obviously Nkunku has been linked with PSG, and you could potentially see some sort of swap deal here. Maybe Nkunku on a permanent, Kolo Muani on a loan. But you know, we'll see what happens. I think it's an interesting link. It's something where it is an opportunity, I guess you would say, on the market. Chelsea don't really go for, well, they do go for obviously signings that they want, but there's also an element of Chelsea have been very opportunistic under the Clear Lake. I think, you know, the Felixes, could even say your Netos, you know, when he came available. There's plenty of other transfers as well where we've kind of been opportunistic and sweeped in and thought, yeah, you know what, we'll have that player. So maybe Kolo Muani's another one of them. The report says that we like his versatility. He can play on the wings, he can play up front. So who knows? I mean, I think it could. I'm not a massive fan of him, but I think it could be maybe a sensible transfer just in terms of, I guess, the optics of it. You know, like he wants out of PSG. He's 26, so he's not too old, but he's not too young. He's quick. You know, he did have a high reputation. We've been linked in the past as well by Fabrizio and Fabrice Hawkins. So I think it's one of the ones where I wouldn't say it's like, oh, this is just not true at all. I do think there's probably some level of interest there, but whether or not it's like the tweet says, well, we want him, and it's, you know, it's like contact ready to start. Who knows, man? We'll see. You know, we'll see. But yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, bro, because you look at it, right? Do you think we need someone like this in January? I'm not necessarily saying him, but do you think we need like a versatile forward player? Because the way I'm looking at it is obviously Mudryk is sidelined for we don't know how long for, so he's kind of out of the picture right now. You've got Madueke, you've got Sancho, and you've got Pedro Neto. You've also got Nicholas Jackson, Guiu, who's not really getting a look in the Premier League, and you've got Christopher Nkunku and Joao Felix. For me, this only would make sense if Christopher Nkunku was going the other way, for example. I can't envisage a situation where Randal, Kolo Muani coming to Chelsea with no attacking players leaving really makes any sense. Do you think that if we were to pursue this, then it has to be based on an Nkunku or maybe even a Mark Guiu going on loan, for example? I mean, is that the only way you see this working?
Yeah, 100%. No, I agree with that. I do think it would be that case. I think you don't really bring Kolo Muani in if you don't get rid of Nkunku. I think Nkunku's the guy that's, I guess you could say, holding up, or is the kind of reason we would get a striker in January if he left. So yeah, I mean, if Nkunku stayed, then I don't see us doing any business at all, to be honest. But I do think we could bring a striker in if it is Nkunku, you know, leaving. And I think this one's just very interesting because Nkunku used to play for PSG as well. Like people forget that. So he could very, very easily go there. Like he's French, it would be a great signing for them. I could just see I envision Nkunku in a PSG shirt for sure. And whether or not that means we get someone the other way, again, it's opportunistic, isn't it? There's someone there that we definitely previously have rated because Fabrizio said we rated him in the past, literally last year. But obviously the price was ridiculous when he was at Frankfurt before he moved. So yeah, I do see Nkunku leaving it in January, and whether or not it will be Kolo Muani coming in, we will have to wait and see. But it certainly makes sense on the optics of it. Like, okay, you have one of ours, we'll have one of yours if we like him, type thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, this as you referenced, mate, like this one to me screams opportunity. It's Chelsea won't do anything if the finances aren't what they want it to be. Like, I don't see a permanent deal happening. Loan with an option is potentially the most likely thing. But if you could get a dry loan for 6 months, then I don't see that being a bad deal at all. I just don't know if we want to be. I mean, I don't know what sort of money Kolo Muani earns, but I just don't know if we want to be, saddled with a player 26 going on 27, who, yes, has got ability, but hasn't really pushed on since he kind of come through at Frankfurt. Do we really want to be saddled with him? And then if you think about it in the bigger picture, if Kolo Muani come with a loan with an option or a loan with an obligation or whatever it was, is that then our striker? Does that therefore mean that we're not going for Liam Delap? Does that mean that this is the attacking signing that would be the competition for Nicholas Jackson? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Or do you just think, we're doing this and we don't really see him as the striker competition? Maybe see him as someone that could fill in on the left-hand side in Mudrik's absence? I mean, where do you see this guy fitting in?
Yeah, it's a funny one, to be honest, because I did think he was like an out-and-out striker, but we watched a lot of like action comps on my stream and just sort of, not just his goals, but his all-round play. And I mean, this guy's off the left, he's off the right, he's in the middle. He kind of reminds me a bit of Jackson, to be honest, the way they play. Kind of similar. So I don't really know if it's actually too much of a different profile and what we're looking for. Because for me, we need a box threat that can, that's very clinical inside the box, that can head the ball, especially. I think headers is very important for us.
He doesn't look like he's got much of a physical profile, does he?
No, I mean, he's tall, but like, yeah, he's not that like beast in the box. You know what I mean? He's not a Duran. He's not an Amarodian. He's not that type of player. He's not a Chris Wood. Like he's just a player that's sort of a kind of like Jackson, to be honest. I mean, he's quick. He can play multiple positions. He's very versatile. Like he's more of a striker than Jackson, but I still don't think he's like an out and out striker from what I've watched anyway. I mean, for example, for Frankfurt, he got 14 assists in one of the seasons. Yeah. So that's not.
Was he playing for Frankfurt when we played them in the Europa League semis a few those years back, or was he too young for that?
No, I think that was Jovic and someone else. I don't think he was playing then.
Maybe
I may be wrong, but I don't remember him playing for them then.
But yeah, look. I mean, you look at him; he's not bad. But my thing would be, how much does this move the needle for us? Per se, like, what value would he be adding to the squad that maybe we don't have already? I mean, look, if Nkunku desperately wants out and it's kind of a straight swap, 2 loans with an option or something like that, then maybe it kind of makes a little bit of sense. But I mean, bro, what sort of value do you see him potentially adding to the squad? Because I don't want to disrespect him or anything. He's obviously not a bad footballer, but I kind of look at it on surface level. I'm just thinking, what's this guy bringing that is potentially different to what we've already got? And I'm kind of struggling right now to see if he brings anything different, really.
Yeah, I mean, look, I haven't watched him enough to sort of say, whether he brings something completely different or not. I think he will bring something different in terms of, like, for example, he scored quite a few really nice headers that I've seen and watched back. So if he does have that ability, looks like he's got a bit of a leap on him, but I don't think he's the best sort of finisher. And he does seem very versatile. It doesn't seem like like we all call that for this number 9, this pure striker, but he doesn't seem that. But I would say as well is that Maresca, I don't even know if Maresca wants that, because you would kind of say, well, Nkunku's kind of that in the box, like he doesn't really move that much. Maresca wants someone, I mean, his favourite phrase is on and off the ball, isn't it? So
he loves it.
He wants someone that drops deep, he wants someone that's involved, and I think that's why he likes Jackson so much. So Who knows, man? Who knows? It's going to be interesting to see. Like, I really want to see whether this gets debunked or not, or whether this actually is a concrete thing. Because I mean, literally 3 or 4 hours ago, we had like Chelsea sources that get briefed, like Kieran Gill, Nizar, basically saying that we're not getting a striker and stuff like this. So it's like, well, this comes out like a few hours later from France. Is this agent talk? Is this is this Nkunku saying at Cobham today before Ipswich, I'm leaving? Who knows, man?
I mean, I think you've got to take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt because, as you rightly say, like this guy is definitely leaving PSG. So, of course, his agent is going to offer him round. There's been links to Man United, potential links to Arsenal. I'm sure there's links to a whole host of clubs around Europe. So there is that aspect of it. But as you say, like this is a pretty good source. They're generally, with things in the past, they've generally been pretty spot on. But as you say, like, has Nkunku indicated that he wants to leave the club, which is maybe why this is accelerated? Because if Chelsea's stance, which has been reported, time and time again, is that Nkunku, they want to keep him for at least the rest of the season, then a move for Kolo Muani wouldn't really make sense. Yes, Mudryk is probably going to miss the rest of the season. I think we have to be honest about that. But would they bring in Kolo Muani as a Mudryk replacement per se, when you've got Tyreek George that could potentially do that job? That's just come into the first team squad. I don't really know. So, I mean, I know it's Chelsea and you can never say never, but would you be surprised if Nkunku left in January? Because I know that he's probably not particularly happy, but I'd be surprised if we sanctioned a major departure like Nkunku in January unless he desperately wanted out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm of the view that I don't see how he stays in January, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know the guy, but I mean, he's got a big reputation. He's got a World Cup to think about. He's 26, 27 now. He doesn't want to be wasting his career sitting on the bench at Chelsea. And I think one of the main things is as well is like, let's not forget, Nkunku joined to be one of the main guys. Like he joined to, all the briefs last season under Poch.
It's going to save the season.
Yeah, like, do you remember like Chelsea rated him so highly and now all of a sudden, I'm not saying Chelsea don't rate him, but, like, I'm sorry, like, if they rated him so highly, wouldn't they be getting into Maresca as well? Like, look, we got Nkunku here, you need to play him a little bit more. Like they've definitely done that with players in the past, so and managers, and it's just I just don't see how he stays. Like, if you were Nkunku, would you want to stay? I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either because basically the only way if you're Nkunku right now, the only way you're going to play is if Jackson gets injured. You might start the odd game here and there. We kind of through that busy run of fixtures now. We didn't really have that much rotation. He started against Southampton and whatnot, but right now I don't see any reason unless Jackson gets injured for Nkunku's trajectory to change this season. The guy will probably start against Morecambe in the FA Cup, but I don't see him starting many Premier League games at all, and he's not going to want that. You've got a World Cup coming up as well. I'd be absolutely shocked if, I think it's pretty safe to say, bro, that this is Nkunku's last season. No way is he here next season. Not a chance in my book. I mean, just whilst we're on Nkunku, how it's so strange, isn't it? How this has kind of worked out. Obviously, he come in for a great deal, 52 million quid from Leipzig, where he'd done really well, and everyone thought he was going to be the main man, kind of a marquee signing. Everyone was really excited by him. Really exciting in pre-season under Poch. Gets injured. Last season was a bit of a write-off. And then he looks really sharp in pre-season. One of our best performers. He starts the first game of the season. And then the guy's barely seen. And it's like now under Maresca, he just doesn't really suit the way that we're playing. Maresca's consistently said he's not a 9, but only uses him as a 9. It's quite mad how it's turned out, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is. I honestly thought he'd be one of our main players under Maresca this season. I mean, when in pre-season he was playing a lot as that sort of 8/10, and I think what we've seen this season is obviously Enzo's kind of playing there. And honestly, I said this, I think it's very obvious. When Palmer moved centrally, that was it for Nkunku for me. And maybe even Felix. But the problem is, Felix is ahead of Nkunku in the 10. So this is why I can't see him staying, because you're not getting in over Jackson. So the only time you're playing is if Jackson gets injured, or you're getting 10-minute cameos, or maybe you're playing in the FA Cup. I just can't see him wanting to do that for another 6 months. I mean, fair play if he does in some ways, but I don't see it. I wouldn't want to. I mean, it's not like I'd see him staying if he had other positions where he could potentially fill in. But Maresca doesn't want him to fill in the 10. He wants Felix there if Palmer's not playing or whatever. And then on the left, he doesn't want Nkunku on the left. He'd probably rather play Tyreek George there. So I mean, I don't see how he stays, to be honest with you, mate. I really don't see how he stays. And this is why I'm kind of baffled with the whole, like, Chelsea are not getting a striker, this, that. Like, well, surely you're going to be forced to, because how can you convince Nkunku that anything's going to change? I can't see how he's happy with this current situation, to be honest with you.
No, mate, he absolutely isn't. Absolutely isn't. There's no way in hell. I mean, just to round out on Kolo Muani, bro, I mean, if you had to sort of say now, like, I know it's obviously quite difficult to do, but like, how likely do you think this would be to happen?
Oh, it's so early to say. I don't know. If Nkunku was to go to PSG, I'd say it's very likely to happen. But for me, it all depends on Nkunku. I don't think this would ever happen if Nkunku didn't go to PSG. I think this would be an opportunity where we would look to do something with Nkunku involved. But yeah, I don't mean the club want to get rid of Nkunku, but it's just all about what he wants at the end of the day. Like, I saw Kieran Gill from the Mail earlier say that Nkunku's going to have to swallow up any unhappiness. I mean, well, no, he's not. You can't do that to any player. If he wants to leave, he wants to leave, So, like,
yeah.
And Chelsea don't want to keep players that are unhappy. I think we've seen that in the past. So, I don't know. The reports are very strange. I mean, look, it is transfer season. You're going to get a lot of reports now. So, we're back to that time where we sort of have to decide for things and decide for ourselves before, the truth comes out, I guess, and see what happens, really, and kind of make our own minds up whether we believe things or not.
Yeah, no, mate, I absolutely agree. I mean, sticking with forward players, I mean, let's wait and see how this one pans out. If it's a loan with an option, I don't think that's the worst deal in the world, to be honest, because you don't have to take that option up. You get an extra body in for 6 months. That, for me, is probably the best case scenario in this situation. But sticking with strikers, bro, Liam Delap, obviously, we're going to come up against him tomorrow night. We'll get into tomorrow night in a bit more detail a little bit later on. Chelsea are obviously big fans. This was Fabrizio the other day. They consider Liam Delap a very good player. Should not underestimate Enzo Maresca said about him in public. Considered a very good modern striker. Could be one of the names for the summer for Chelsea. Unlikely in January. I think it's right to wait and see how he does in the second half of the season. The more and more I think about this move, right, they're obviously dependent on how he does. He fits the profile, of course. He's in the age range. He's that physical striker, box presence, good in the air. Come from the Man City Academy, knows Joe Shields, scored 20-odd goals under Maresca in the side that won the PL2 with Lavia and Cole Palmer. It just makes sense. It just feels like one of the most obvious Chelsea transfers going. I mean, what are your thoughts on Delap, bro? And do you agree with me? Do you think, I'm not saying we're definitely going to get him, but this does feel like quite an obvious move, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it does for sure. It's something that I think, you join the dots together. I mean, he's worked with Maresca, Joe Shields likes him, ex-Man City. We've done this before multiple times. Well, 2 times now with Lavia and Palmer. So, yeah, I could definitely see this one happening. Tosin a little bit as well, to be fair, ex-sort of Man City Academy. So, yeah, no, I definitely...
Sancho as well, isn't he?
Yes, Sancho, yeah. So, it looks very, very obvious. And in that sense, it's like, is it a bit too obvious? But at the same time, I think the last line's important, what Fabrizio says. They want to see how he does in the second half of the season. Yeah. I think this is something where it's like, okay, not even necessarily scoring. I think just more like all-round play, because it's very, very hard to get goals in Ipswich's team. I mean, they are shocking, let's be honest. So,
yeah, they are,
yeah, I mean, look, we got them tomorrow, but they have been pretty shocking this season. They're really struggling, and Delap's feeding off scraps, and he's still got a few league goals. So,
six is all right. It's about 1 in 3, 6 and 8. I don't know if he's played in every game for them, but if he has played in every game, it's about 1 in 3, which for a side that's struggling is not terrible, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but I mean, what are your thoughts on him, though, bro? Do you think he's like? Do you think he would suit us? Do you think that's the sort of player we should be going for? I suppose he is similar in a way to an Omorodion kind of mold in that sort of physical profile. I mean, do you think he's someone that makes sort of, is missing from the squad? Is it someone that you think, yeah, that's the kind of profile we should be going for?
On Marodian?
No, Delap.
Oh, I don't know, to be honest, because like he is a physical presence. He's not that tall. I've not seen him much in the air. But again, it's what does Maresca want here? He's very similar in terms of Jackson, in terms of working very hard off the ball, on the ball. He drifts to the left. I remember the game I watched against Manchester United. He was very good. He was kind of everywhere up front, linking play up. Then he drifted out to the left and sort of came inside like Jackson did a bit under Poch last season. So I do think he'd suit our system, yeah. But I don't know how good he actually is. I've not watched enough of him. And the problem with Delap is he doesn't get enough, like maybe I'll have to watch one of the games where they play like a relegation side or something, like two sides where they battle it out, Ipswich and maybe one of the lower sides, just to sort of see like if Ipswich have a lot of the ball, how like good is he actually, if you know what I mean? Because whenever I've watched, I tried to watch him against Arsenal.
Oh mate, they had no shots on the goal.
Mate, he touched the ball like a few times. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? I can't see him as a player, so it's very hard to sit here and say yes or no, because like when you're playing for Ipswich, how many chances do you really get? Like, just in terms of like how good is he as an all-round player? I feel like with Maresca, it's best when everything clicks and when everyone is, like linking up. Everyone has to be a good individual player. I feel like everyone has to be good on the ball. Everyone has to be very technically sound. So I just haven't seen enough of Delap to say yes or no. So yeah. I mean, the one thing is he's still young, isn't he? So I guess
he's 21. Yeah, mate. I like him, but I'm in the same boat as you. Like, haven't seen enough of him, and we need to see like at least a full season. He's got 6 right now. Let's say he gets 12 Premier League goals or something, or he gets 14. Let's say he gets a similar number to what Nicholas Jackson got last season. That for me is enough to suggest that, do you know what? Yeah, this guy is good enough and could make the difference. But then I don't know. You look at the sort of the striker market, and maybe the sort of strikers we're going to go for. I know people in the chat are saying, "Oh, they want Gyökeres and whatnot." I think it's very, very clear we are not signing a big name striker. So I think that much is obvious. I mean, bro, have you heard anything? Is the interest in Benjamin Sesko still there, for example?
Yeah, still there. Still scouting him a lot. Sesko interest is still there. I mean, Delap, I actually said like a month ago now. I think this sort of picked up about a month ago, first really started. We've been watching him a lot. We've got a lot of scouts watching a lot of strikers, man. Like a lot of strikers out there that we're watching. So I think what Simon Johnson, the Athletic's correct. It's like 5 to 10 strikers / forwards that we're watching. So yeah, we'll be busy. There's definitely options for us. So yeah, I don't expect it. I really don't expect it to be a Gyökeres or an Osimhen, though. I do think Jackson will be that guy now as number one, especially if he has a good second half to the season. I don't see us going for someone to sort of replace him. I mean, do you think we will? I don't think we will.
No, I can't see it. Honestly, mate, I think Osimhen has sold his soul and become irrelevant going to Galatasaray. I think with him, it literally was summer or bust. I think that ship's gone now. I don't think Chelsea will revisit it. Gyökeres, I mean, I don't know if he's gone off the boil a little bit since Amorim left. I haven't really been keeping track, but I know the guy that replaced Amorim's already been sacked by Sporting. Again, look, he's a good player, but is he too similar to Jackson? I'm not entirely sure. No, for me, bro, I don't see us getting a big name striker. I honestly think it'll be a Liam Delap or a Sesko. Are the two that I think we'd go for. Obviously, there's going to be other names that we are looking at, which we don't know too much about. I mean, I remember a few weeks back we were linked with some random 18-year-old Greek striker who's I think on loan somewhere in the second division in Germany or something. So there's probably a few rogue ones out there as well. But nah, bro, I'm with you. I do not see a big name striker coming in. I mean, just on that, do you think that's the right route to go down, not going for a big name? Do you think it's better that we have Jackson and then we have a different profile to complement and compete with him? Because, when you think about it, you sort of think, look, we're trying to win the Premier League in the next couple of seasons, of course, right? And then you sort of think to yourself, could you win the Premier League with Nicholas Jackson and Liam Delap as a strike pairing, for example? I mean, do you think that's possible?
I mean,
It's hard, isn't it, when you think about it that way? It suddenly seems quite difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But like, I don't know. The Prem's so weird now. Like, who knows what Man City are going to do next season, whether they'll be back or not. I mean, if Man City are back next season, then no one's got a fucking chance. So, yeah, it's just right now, the Premier League is, I think it's very good, sort of like medium table wise. But when you get to the top, like, I think the top, I mean, Forest are second. I mean, it's just,
it's mental.
like
Chris Wood
Liverpool are
banging
top.
him in.
Liverpool are top. I mean, they've got Salah, right? They ain't really got a striker that scores loads of goals. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's a yes or no question. To be honest with you, I don't think it comes down to you just need an Osimhen or Gyökeres, and then you're more likely to win the league. I mean,
I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah,
but I mean, but I think a big name. I don't want to say it would make us worse, but I think it could upset the balance of the team. I don't know if we need that sort of name in the squad, in the dressing room. I don't know if that's the right route to go down. But just on big name in general, do you think, obviously we've been down the route of big name strikers so many times in the past and very few have worked out. Do you think it's maybe time that we moved away from big name strikers? Do you kind of support the route we're going down with maybe, lesser known players, for example? Do you think it's right that we're not going to sign a big name?
I don't know. I mean, I'd still be lying if I said I wouldn't take an Osimhen or Gyökeres, to be honest, or an Isak. But I don't know, man. It's so hard. I mean, I said no to Duran and Omarodi, and I was pretty unhappy about it. And look, they'd be probably great for us. So I don't know. I can't really disagree with the route they're going down, to be honest with you. I mean, Jackson looks like he's improving in front of goal compared to last season. So we'll see. Let's see. Let's see how many goals Jackson gets at the end of this season, and I think we'll go from there.
I mean, just on Jackson very briefly. What do you think is possible for him goal wise? He's got 9 so far in 17 games, which is a little bit better than 1 in 2. Providing he stays fit for the rest of the season, do you think he could get 20?
I mean, I was very convinced. I mean, he was on a very good rate, but what is he now? 2 or 3 games without a goal. So
yeah, I think he scored against Brentford, didn't he? So it's 2 games without a goal.
That's hardly anything, but you don't want him to start going on a dry patch of 4, 5, 6 games. So let's hope he can bag a goal or 2 tomorrow night. I do think he definitely could get 20. I mean, it'd be crazy because the last striker who got that was Costa, and I mean that's fucking how many years ago? But he definitely could do it. He's got the ability to. I think he's got the chance creation around him to get the chances to do so. But it's so hard to say, he's going to get 20 because we just haven't seen that from a striker in so many years, really, at Chelsea.
No, we haven't. But I sort of wonder whether you actually need someone to get 20 goals. When you've got Palmer, who will probably score 20 goals anyway, does it matter if your striker's not getting 20? Maybe it doesn't. If you've got players chipping in with goals all over the pitch, then maybe it doesn't matter. If you've got wide players getting between 5 and 10, you've got Palmer getting 20. Jackson can maybe get 15, get Enzo 5 to 10 from midfield, and maybe that is enough goals to get you challenging at the top end of the table. But let's move away from strikers and let's move to the other end of the pitch, because Chelsea are definitely wanting a new centre-back. Whether it's going to be in the summer, whether it's going to be this month or in the summer, we don't know. I think it's clear that Chelsea would be prepared to do a deal where you sign someone like we did with Gusto and then send him back and he joins in the summer. We've had links with Thomas Araujo at Benfica. They've gone a bit quiet recently, but this is something that you picked up on earlier this month, and it has now subsequently been confirmed in the Daily Mail. Bournemouth centre-backs Dean Huijsen and Ilya Zabiani are being considered by Chelsea and PSG. Now, I think Huijsen was only just joined in the summer from Juventus. I think he's 19 years old. He's looks quite good. I think he scored a couple of goals. Zabiani, I think, is a little bit older. I think he's 22. I think he come from Dynamo Kiev in the January window in 2023. Bro, what are your thoughts on these players? The centre-back one's interesting. I just think someone like Huijsen, I think, has got a lot of potential. I'm not sure we should be going for someone that's just 19 years of age. I think we need someone a bit older with a bit more experience. I mean, considering doesn't mean that a move's imminent or anything like that, but they're clearly players that have been watched or are being watched. What are your thoughts on potential links to either of these two?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's don't watch Bournemouth regularly, but obviously I know Hoyson's been very, very good for them. As is Sabani, I think he's very underrated from what people say about him. Definitely know we've been scouting Zabani, but I'm not sure about Hoyson. I think Hoyson is one of them players that Chelsea would feel like, oh, we should have got to him first, sort of thing, instead of Bournemouth, because he kind of fits the mold of what Chelsea are trying to do, right? Young sort of player, high potential, like you're getting on him early before he becomes 60, 70, 80, 90 million, so it's kind of ones where I know we can't get everyone, but Chelsea are probably like looking at him at Bournemouth thinking, oh, fuck me, like we missed out on one there. He looks quality. So,
oh, mate, that Bournemouth, 3 of that Bournemouth back 4 are actually quite decent. They've got Milos Kerkez as well. And then these 2 lads. Like, it's not bad, that, is it? I mean,
Iraola as well, good manager. They found Iraola. I guess he's a very good manager. So Bournemouth may be the new Brighton. Who knows? We may be doing some deals with them.
I mean, do you think this is kind of? I mean, the centre backs is so interesting, isn't it? Because that, I mean, ideally, like we could do with a world class experienced centre back, but I think the reality is very different. That we aren't going to get one of those. Do you very much envisage we're going to sign maybe someone similar to what we've already got? I mean, or do you think we're going to get someone better? I mean, what do you think we're going to do in that centre back department? Because it's actually a really important signing that we're going to potentially make at some point soon.
I think we'll go for someone quite young. I don't think we'll get that kind of experienced leader at the back. I do think we'll get someone quite young. I don't think it'll be a Araujo anymore. I can't see us spending 66 million release clause on him, but maybe I guess it just depends how much they like him. It seems a lot of money. I don't know really. I do think it'll be in the summer though. I don't think we'll do anything in January. But I honestly feel like we need a centre back in January from what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't trust Fofana to stay fit, and I think we need a right centre back. I mean, I know Achimpong on the ball.
You can't play him in a 4 though, can you?
That's what I'm saying. Like on the ball in a 3, I think he'd be fine. But like he's not. Like people forget he's a right back. Can he be a centre back in a 4? I don't think so. So yeah,
no, I agree. I mean, but again though, bro, any centre back coming in January, someone's gonna have to leave, and that someone's gonna have to be Disasi. I mean, do you think it's possible that Disasi leaves in January?
Yeah, definitely possible, and I mean that might trigger something there. But clubs for Disasi is going to be hard to find. I think price as well. We signed him for 38.5 million, which is
nowhere near that.
We're nowhere near that. And then I think with Chelsea, you know what they're like. They ain't gonna just sell someone for 20 mil and take a loss. So,
what have we loaned in with an option or loaned in with an obligation or something like that?
Maybe I just can't see who's going to sign Disasi. To be honest with you, like I think the market for him is very limited. I mean, talk about French clubs. But French clubs don't have any money unless it's PSG, and I don't think he's going to go there. So,
well, exactly. I mean, I just think the centre back's so important though, because we still obviously can't trust Fofana to stay fit, as you mentioned. Badiashile, like there's potential there, but you sort of see him coming back to some sort of good form, and then he's injured again now, and like, what's he going to be like? Tosin's done well recently, but let's be real though, there's not much difference, in my opinion, between Tosin, Badiashile, and Disasi. I mean, Tosin and Badiashile are probably a bit ahead of Disasi, but when you look at it, there's very little difference between those 3, but then there's quite a big difference between those 3 and the first choice pairing. So, I mean, do you think we need someone that is good enough, that someone to play in the starting 11, or do you just think we need a better rotation option?
Well, I mean, it depends if Fofana stays fit. I think we need someone starting quality, to be honest with you. But that player is going to be hard to find, because I think the pitch to a right centre back, especially in January, is like, well, ideally Fofana's, our number 1 right centre back, so you're kind of not the starter, but at the same time, you might start a lot because Fofana might be injured. You know, it reminds me very much of Gusto. Remember when Gusto signed and we was just like, well, how are you going to get a good right back? Because like the thought of like when you're a player like James, you know, he's injured a lot. Like, are we going to be able to convince someone? Because at the end of the day, if James is fit, then you know that right back's not going to play. But then James is never fit, so the right back
Yeah.
ended up playing loads. So that's why Gusto thought, you know what, I think James is going to keep getting injured, so I'll join. You know, he said he had a plan and all this, so maybe the right centre back looks at that and think, well, Fofana. I mean, look, how likely is he to start? Really, you know, for most of the season for Chelsea, pretty unlikely. So I'll join Chelsea. You know, maybe we could go down that route and try and convince someone just based off logic. Really, I mean, it's only been a couple of months into the season, and Fofana's already been out for a few weeks now. So I just don't think. I think him, James, and Lavia, unfortunately, are going to be. I think Lavia will be less cooked, but I do think Fofana and James are cooked, to be honest with you. I just don't think I don't think they'll ever play consistently for Chelsea. I hate to say it, but I think they're two of our, you know, better players when they're maybe even best players when they're fully fit and at it. I mean, Fofana's a fantastic player when he's fully at it, but when is he fully at it? Very rarely. Same with James. So
Yeah, I mean, do you know what Fofana's absence does highlight is actually how important he is to this team. Because I've seen a lot of people disrespecting him and saying he's not that good and whatnot. I think you can see now when he's not playing how important he actually is to this team. And so, look, the centre back one's an interesting one as well. I just don't know who we're going to go for. Again, as you said, it's a difficult one to pitch, isn't it? Because really, if everyone's fit, you're looking for someone who's basically prepared to be a third choice. And that's never an easy pitch. But as you say, Fofana doesn't really stay fit. So someone is probably going to be able to get a lot of games. There's obviously a lot of names on the list of centre-backs, but there's not been any real concrete links to any centre-backs. It's very much kind of just loose links here and there. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how that develops over next month and you know, and whether, you know, the Sassy leaves, whether any options, you know, come in for him, and that maybe will free up some space to potentially go and make a move. Guys, there's 166 in the building. We're only on 54 likes. That is piss poor, people. So we need to smash that like button, run it up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new round here as well. We did pass 15k over the week on Saturday, I think it was yesterday. So guys, thank you so much for that. Please keep smashing the like button though. Run this up to 100 likes, and of course, subscribe if you're new round here. Sticking with the theme of outgoings, bro. This one kind of baffles me a little bit, not in terms of the player leaving, but why we think we can get this much money for him. Bro, there's no way we're getting 40 million release clause for Chukwuemeka. Why do you think we're insisting on that?
I mean, look, double the money. I mean, we paid 20 mil. Chelsea rate him very highly, but at the same time, for whatever reason, he doesn't
Rate
play
him so highly, we never play him.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot by Dewsbury-Hall and Felix in some ways, you know, because really, if you rate him that highly, you'd kind of not sign them. But Carney does have his injury issues, so I kind of see it in some ways. But I don't think both of them were necessary. Definitely not Dewsbury-Hall. I mean, that's just been a massive flop of a signing. But yeah, no, we're not getting that. I think a loan with an obligation is probably most likely somewhere in the Prem. I could see like a Crystal Palace or something, maybe.
I mean, do you think he's fully done at Chelsea? Like, I know it might seem obvious that he is, but do you think if he did go on loan for 6 months and he tore it up and he did really well, there could maybe be a way back for him? Or do you think, do you know what, this is it? He's absolutely finished.
I think he's finished, to be honest. I think even if he did, you know, do well, I think Chelsea would probably look to cash in. Maybe they would get closer to 40 mil if we loaned him and he did tear up. So I think he's finished.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about that? Because, you know, we did, for his age when we signed him, that's quite a lot of money, 20 mil for someone who hadn't really played an awful lot of football, really struggled with injuries. When he did play last season, he did look pretty good. He started the first 2 games of the season, scored against West Ham, then was out for pretty much the rest of the season, come back, scored, you know, last-minute winner against Leicester, you know, looked pretty useful. I mean, what are your thoughts on Carney and kind of how it's worked out for him? I just look down at it as a little bit of a shame.
Yeah, 100%. I really like Carney. I think he's a massive player and I think he's got huge potential. But I don't know. I think injuries have kind of halted his career here at Chelsea, to be honest. It's definitely a shame. I think he's someone that's very, very good at ball carrying. I think he's got a great shot on him. I think he's a fantastic dribbler. You know, he's kind of everything you want in like a modern eight, to be honest. You know, he's tall, he's physical. He's a very good player, but it's just not worked out here. And unfortunately, you can't have everything sometimes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, look, just send him out on loan, because him not going anywhere in January is a complete waste of everyone's time. It's a complete waste of his time, and it's a complete waste of our time. So, yeah, just find a solution for him in January, loan with an option or whatever it is, even if it's a dry loan. Just get him out playing football, and let's see what happens there. I know you've got to go in a sec, bro, but I thought we'd just cover this quickly. I mean, talking of signings, where no disrespect to him, Dewsbury-Hall could be allowed to leave on loan despite only signing for 30 million in the summer. That's Kieran Gill. Now, Maresca said he likes Dewsbury-Hall. You know, he's pleased with how he's working and whatnot. I've got nothing against the player. I actually quite like him, and I actually don't think he's a bad player. This just literally made zero sense in the summer, and it's making even less sense now. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? And do you think Chelsea would just send him out, even though we do look pretty light in midfield with Lavia not being able to stay fit? Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts? It's not really a surprise to hear that this might happen, but it's just a baffling decision that we made in the summer to spend 30 million on this guy.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's literally Drinkwater V2, right? Like, I mean, maybe even worse. At least Drinkwater scored a 40-yard scream against Stoke or wherever it was at Stamford Bridge.
And he came in as a Premier League winner.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't understand this signing at all. I mean, at the time, I was like, okay, right, I don't really rate him, but he fits the system. Maybe Maresca wanted him. Maresca clearly didn't want him, though. Like, he doesn't even get in match day squads in the Premier League. It's the most baffling signing.
But you know what's baffling, though, bro? He was at Brighton having his medical, and we
decided. I think we just wanted to piss off Brighton, to be honest with you.
But it's weird, though, isn't it? Like, we actually, like, you know, hijacked the move from Brighton to actually get him, and yet this guy literally plays Conference League football, and that's pretty much it. I don't get it.
It's proper strange, mate. Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of them ones as well, because I actually, like, from what I've heard interviews, I really like I like the bloke, but I don't know, he's just so average, isn't he? Like, he's an okay squad player, but he's the definition of just a bang average centre midfielder, really. Like, he'll do a job, but he, you know, like, it's just a signing we could have avoided. Like,
we just didn't need to do it.
He's not one of them players where, like, you know, I know a lot of people don't, you know, rate Joao Felix, but, like, Joao Felix is obviously a great footballer, right? He can come on and make an impact in the Premier League. I don't see Dewsbury-Hall coming on and making an impact if we needed him in the Premier League. That's the difference, right? And they play in the same position. So it's just a weird one for me. Like, the fact he doesn't even make match day squads, I'm like, this is insane. Like, this is like someone that Maresca hates, not loves. I mean, Maresca literally, I just don't get it. It's baffling. I'd love, you know, whenever he leaves Chelsea, I'd love to, I bet you there'll be some sort of like inside article as to what actually happened, because it doesn't make sense at all how his career has gone there. It just doesn't.
And you just can't see him playing. All right, he'll play against Morecambe in the FA Cup in a few weeks, right? There's no Conference League till March. This guy's literally could theoretically start one game between now and March when the Conference League resumes. And we spent 30 million quid on him. I just cannot get my head around it. It just doesn't make sense. We have done a lot. We have done a lot of good things, and it's important to point that out. But this is just one of those things where you just look at it and you think, well, all right, yeah, Gallagher left, but we already had replacements in the squad. You had Chukwuemeka. You know, Felix had come in. You know, maybe instead of sending both Santos and Ugochukwu on loan, maybe keep one of those back and don't spend 30 mil on this guy to get to have that extra midfield depth. I mean, yeah, it's a strange one, but, you know, I've got nothing against him, but yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. And I'd be shocked if he was here next season, to be honest, which kind of sounds mad, but yeah, I can't see him being here next season. But yeah, anyway, bro, I know you've got to shoot off now. Thanks so much for your time as always. Guys, make sure you follow Pice on Twitter. It'll be linked in the description. You guys should all know where he is. Bro, thanks so much for coming on. And yeah, let's hope we get a win tomorrow, and I'll catch up with you soon, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. 3-1 Chelsea tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, mate. Thanks as always. Pleasure. Right, guys, I am going to carry on. We're gonna talk about a bit more transfer news, and then we're going to get into the game against Ipswich tomorrow. So please do get your thoughts on the game in the chat. Please do, of course, get your score predictions in for the game as well. I'm going to go through a lineup that I would like to see. Guys, let me know your thoughts on the Dewsbury-Hall signing as well. You know, a real strange one that you know, I don't dislike the guy. It just doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense in the summer. It makes even less sense now. We haven't really got any midfield depth at all, and yet this guy still cannot even make match day squads. You've got, I know Maresca said he was injured last time, but you've got Cesare Cassidy on the bench instead of him. I just can't fathom why we spent £30 million on this guy. Santos won't come back. Ugo Chukwu, now with Ivan Juric in at Southampton, is actually playing. So I think that, you know, Ugo Chukwu may well stay because he's actually getting minutes at Southampton and he looks like he's doing all right. But again, there is a chance that out of the two, Leslie will be recalled if any of them are going to be recalled. You know, I don't think we'll take Andre Santos back because there'd be all manner of riots in Strasbourg, all manner of riots. And you know, we've got to make sure that we sort of don't anger them or whatever. But yeah, look, Leslie out of the two would be the one that's more likely to come back. But there is a severe lack of midfield depth. And you just look at things like, you know, and this is like Dewsbury-Hall can't get squads. Chukwuemeka's not making match day squads. What about Guiu? Nizar Cancelo was, as reported, that Chelsea got no plans to send Mark Guiu on loan, which I kind of understand, but I sort of also don't understand because the guy's getting no look in the Premier League whatsoever. So, like, what purpose does it serve? Okay, he'll play against Morecambe, but then what happens? Well, there's no Conference League until March. All right, there might be an FA Cup fourth round tie before then, depending on who the opposition is. He could play in that, but Guiu's not going to get many minutes. So I wonder why we wouldn't be better served him going out and playing. It just doesn't make sense to me. There's just a few things transfer-wise which I'm just not understanding. And look, we've done a lot of good stuff, and I think we're in a very good position. But there's just one or two things that are just absolutely baffling, which you cannot get your head around. And Dewsbury-Hall is one of them, and potentially Mark Guiu not going on loan is another one. Look, if Nkunku were to leave in January, then obviously, you know, he could be the backup striker. But then you're looking at maybe bringing in Randal Kolo Muani. So I just look at all these things, and I just don't know. I just don't get it. I mean, I said after the Ipswich game, not the Ipswich game, sorry. I said after the defeat to Fulham, I don't want to see Christopher Nkunku play as a 9. I want to see if we're going to have an alternative number 9, it's Mark Guiu that should be playing as a 9. No one else should be playing as a 9 for Chelsea if it's not Nicholas Jackson. Kolo Muani is not a bad deal. Look, if it's a loan deal with an option for 6 months, then that isn't that bad at all. If it's an option, then that's absolutely fine. But if it's an obligation, then depends on the price. I'm just not sure if that's the right thing. I'm just not sure if that's the right thing for us to be doing, in my personal opinion. But you know, let's wait and see. Big up to Alhambra for the super chat. Kolo Muani, I'd rather have 2024 Kolo Torre. Fair enough. Look, I'm not a huge Kolo Muani fan, but if it was a 6 months loan and an option, then I don't think it's that bad. You know, we could definitely do a lot worse, and it would be, you know, an opportunistic move in the market, which, yeah, I don't entirely hate. I think you'd be surprised, bro. People would pay £50 million for Nkunku. I think PSG would. I don't see it. You know, I don't see it. If a club comes in for offer in January or summer for Guiu, as I've been impressed what's seen him so far. Look, I don't think we'll sell him for a profit, but I think the Mark Guiu is a classic example of Chelsea being opportunity in the market. Or is it €6 million release clause in his contract? And it's win-win. If he develops into a good player, you've got someone for very cheap. And if not, you're guaranteed to make a handsome profit on him. So it's win-win. Kolo Muani is not as bad as they say he is. He's a very good 9. I've not watched enough of Kolo Muani. I know he's only started 2 league games this season. PSG spent a lot of money on the guy, So, yeah, look, let's wait and see what sort of a fee might be quoted. Let's see if this even goes any further, because it might not. It might not go any further. So, let's wait and see how it develops. But look, as a versatile front player on a loan deal with an option, I don't see that as a bad move, to be honest. Felix absolutely is not leaving in January, confirmed by Fabrizio. People are acting like Kolo Muani and missing open goals week in, week out. Yeah, but look, I think you have to go back though. Frankfurt, how long has he been at PSG for? What, couple seasons? Maybe a bit more, bit less. I don't know. Yeah, that's mental. That's mental. What else have we got? No, I think we get 50 million for. Again, he's not. He absolutely isn't. Shim Maheka has literally just turned 17. Guiu is not stopping any progress for him whatsoever. That is utter nonsense. Yeah, Lavia is a massive loss. Brother, I'm sorry, but you've lost me. With play Disasi at right back. We've got Josh Achimpong. If Gusto's not in the best of form, you go and play Josh Achimpong. There is no reason in 2024, going into 2025, for anyone to be seeing Axel Disasi playing right back. So I was on board with what you were saying there, brother. But then as soon as you mentioned play Disasi at right back, you've lost me, bro. You've lost me. What else is coming in? People want to use stats from the German league when we have seen Havertz and Werner. Look, I hear you. I don't think you can write off everyone from the German league, but yeah, absolutely. You do have to take it maybe with a bit of a pinch of salt potentially. By the way, guys, keep smashing the like button. It's free and it takes seconds to do so. We're 150 in the building and we are only on 79 likes. This needs to be gotten up to at least 100 likes. So please smash that like button, guys, and please subscribe if you are new round here as well. We're on 15,042 subs. Big up to everyone. Let's get this to 15,050. So 8 more subs. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe. All that good shit, guys. Get this to 100 likes, people. Run it up, run it up, run it up. What else are we saying in the chat? Yeah, bro, I don't get that. I don't understand it at all. He wasn't even bad against Fulham. He wasn't bad against Fulham at all. I thought he was pretty good. He had a lot of defensive work to do. I'm a massive fan of Pedro Neto. And if you thought that Pedro Neto was a goal-scoring winger, then you've obviously misunderstood what he is. He's much more of a creator. You go and look at Pedro Neto's goal-scoring stats since he's been in the Premier League. He's not a big scorer of goals, and that's just the reality of the situation. Yes, big up to Alhambra again. We don't want not bad. We need top quality signings. Kolo Muani isn't missing open goals. The guy is missing the team sheet in the McDonald's League. No, you're not wrong. The guy is missing the team sheet in the McDonald's League, but I don't think it's to do with his quality. It's just because Luis Enrique doesn't rate him, unfortunately. But yeah, look, I'll be real, right? For 6 months, loan deal, as I said, I don't think that's a bad deal. 6 months with option, but no obligation and no permanent transfer. Not for me. Not for me. What's happened with Sterling? Well, 1, he's gone on loan to Arsenal, and 2, he's dog shit. So that's what's happened to Sterling, is he's not playing football at Arsenal because I think he's actually injured at the moment, but he's also been shit. So that's where we are. All today's results were not in our favour. No, they weren't. But look, at the end of the day, all we can do is focus on ourselves. Forget what anyone else is doing. The most important thing is what we do. That is literally all that matters, is what we do. Forget what anyone else is doing, guys. We've got to focus on what we need to do. Sterling not coming back in January. No, he's not. Neto was literally playing as a fullback, going man for man. Yeah, exactly. No, the loan's been absolutely shocking. But I mean, I'm not surprised because the guy's shit. So I mean, look, we kind of do need him to do something because obviously we need to get him playing. We need to try and boost his value and maybe attract a few suitors. You know, that needs to happen. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. We'll wait and see. That's a conversation for the summer. Yeah, he was breathing hard because he was having to play as a fucking fullback basically to cover for Gusto. That's why, because he was up and down that wing all game. Mudryk is out. Kolo Muani against low blocks will be very beneficial. Yeah, maybe. No, look, PSG. I think the report said that Chelsea would look for a loan with option. I think was what the report was. Let me take a quick look if it said that. Let's just find it now. I'm pretty sure it was loan with option, they said. Chelsea target Randal, Kolo Muani for this winter transfer window. The Blues should make contact with PSG in the coming days. I definitely saw loan with option somewhere. I can't find it. Look, I don't think PSG would sanction a dry loan. But again, if they're desperate to get rid, maybe they would. But I think at bare minimum, it will have to be a loan with an option. I don't think Chelsea would want to do a loan with an obligation because I don't think we want to shoehorn ourselves into signing Kolo Muani. But yeah, let's wait and see on that front. Look, I don't think Bournemouth would be against buying Kepa, but I think Kepa thinks he's better than that. So yeah, yes, we do, but I think he's going to go on loan for at least 1 or 2 seasons. I don't think Chelsea view him as ready yet. Yeah, look, I think Nkunku would work well in a Luis Enrique system. Would he want to go back to PSG? I've got no idea, but he's 26, well, he's 27 now. You know, the World Cup's coming up next year. Well, pretty much next year. So we're going to have to wait and see on that one. It is going to be a very interesting one. So yeah, all we can do is wait and see, guys. All we can do is wait and see on that front. So yeah, that's kind of the latest on those transfer rumors. We're going to have to wait and see for more on that. We're going to have to wait and see for more on that. I don't know. I don't know for certain what's going to happen with that. I don't think any of us do. But let's see how it develops. Because if we do genuinely want Kolo Muani, PSG want rid, that should be a deal that could be done very quickly. So let's wait and see. Yeah, Cucurella will be playing tomorrow. Bro, Will, I'm with you, brother. I would give not start, but I think certainly Matt, he deserves minutes from the bench. Absolutely, I felt that he probably deserved minutes from the bench against Fulham, but he didn't get them. But I felt he would have deserved that. Again, I don't know if Joe Shields wants Muani or not, but I absolutely hear you on that. Absolutely hear you on that. But yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot of Chelsea news that has been going on literally like in the last couple of days or so in the build up to the January window. Quite a lot of stuff has suddenly come out in regards to the Blues. But look, let's throw it ahead, guys. Let's throw it ahead to tomorrow night, the final game of 2024. Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Nkunku gives you no press, mate. Absolutely zero press with Nkunku. So yeah, I do fully hear you on that one. There is zero press with Nkunku. Yeah, look, George will be in the squad probably. I'd expect him to be on the bench. Whether he gets any minutes or not remains to be seen. Joe Shields absolutely is not done. Alhambra again coming through with the super chat, brother. Thank you so much for your donation. Third one of the night. Big yourself up. Huijsen room is a more believable, impressive centre-back. Yeah, he is an impressive centre-back. He was on loan at Roma, I think, from Juventus as well. The previous season, I think Mourinho had him. Yeah, he's been a really good start. He scored 2 goals in 12 games this season, I think. And yeah, look, he looks exciting. He looks promising. He only just joined Bournemouth, though. And if we were to go for him, Bournemouth, I think, only spent 15 million on him in the summer. So he's going to be worth way, way more than that now. And that could be a very expensive deal to do. Højlund was so good against United and Spurs. Yeah. Yeah, it'll open this week. It'll be open on Wednesday, I think. Yeah, Wednesday is when the January transfer window will open. But guys, let's throw it. Let's throw it forward. Let's throw it forward, people. And let's throw it forward and let's look at the Premier League table after the state of play today as we head into our final game of the year against Ipswich. That is going to be an interesting one. Let me just quickly bring the table up now, guys. So we have dropped with Forest's win today. We have dropped down to 4th in the table, but with Arsenal not playing tomorrow either, we have a chance to go 2nd if we win. So Forest right now are 2nd on 37 points, and Arsenal 36 and us 35. So yeah, look, Man City closed the gap to 4 points. A win for us extends that back to 7. Which would be good. But yeah, I mean, look, you look at this and you're thinking, this is not must win, but, you know, if we draw or something, it's another 2 points we've lost on the chasing pack. You don't want to be dropping more points. You've already taken 1. We've already dropped 5 points in the last 2 games. We need to make sure that we're picking those 3 points up again. I'm not saying this is must win, by the way, because I still think we're in a very, very good position, but you do want to make sure you are, you know, not doing yourself in, basically. You know, you want to make sure that we're trying to make this as easy as possible for us. Guys, we're 12 likes away from 100. Keep smashing that like button, people. Run this up to 100 likes. It's free. It takes seconds to do, and it would help me out more than you can imagine. More than you can imagine, people. So please do smash that like button. There's still 124 of us in the building, so big yourselves up. But yeah, run it up to 100 likes, guys. So yeah, that is the state of play tomorrow. As things stand right now, we need to get a win, and like, you know, just as quickly as we established that gap sort of away from the Champions League positions, you know, that gap can close very quickly as well. And we're in a situation where we need to make sure that we don't allow that gap to close anymore. As I said, we've given away 5 points already over the last couple of games. You don't want to give 7 points away out of 9. So that is important that we you know, get that sorted. No, we shouldn't panic. No, you know, again, it depends on the manner of the game and exactly what happens. But no, I don't think we should be in a state of panic if we don't win tomorrow. But it is important that we do get back to winning ways. And this is a sort of game. Ipswich haven't won a game all season at home. They've won 2 games all season. They're 2nd bottom of the table. And they're a team that we should absolutely be beating. Maresca needs to be quick on subs tomorrow. Yeah, it depends on the situation of the game, but absolutely he needs to be more proactive. Yes, bro, I did. Thank you. I hope you did as well. Chelsea versus Forest, last PO game of the season. Yeah, I mean, that's suddenly looking like it could be very tasty at the City ground. That is looking like it could be very, very tasty. If we lost, I would be slightly panicking if we lost. Yeah, absolutely. Would be slightly panicking if we were to lose. But look, I don't think a draw is not a good result, by the way, but it's certainly better than losing. So yeah, I'm looking at this game. I'm just looking for a response, looking for maybe a few changes to the team, and just looking for us to get back to playing some decent football, because I think we struggled against Brentford. We didn't do well against Everton. We didn't do well against Fulham. So you could even argue in the last 3 games, we've not played particularly well. So this would be a time to get back to some decent form and then obviously show what we can do. Let's hope that Liam Delap doesn't score. He's not scored for the last few games. It would be typical, linked with the move to Chelsea if he were to score. But we will have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, we should win this game. I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't. But this is the Premier League, and it's very tricky. Very, very tricky, guys. There's no easy games, as we found out over the last couple of games. No easy games whatsoever. But look, I'm confident we can get something done, but we do need to make sure that we don't drop more points because, you start going 3 games without a win, that could become 4. And that game away at Crystal Palace next weekend suddenly becomes a lot tougher. Do you know what I mean? That suddenly becomes a lot more difficult. So yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It is an interesting one. I don't know. We just need the win. We just need the win. That's all. Just get the win. I don't care how we play. I don't care how we play. I just want us to get the 3 points and get back to winning ways because, a trip to Selhurst Park is quite difficult next weekend. Palace are picking up a little bit of form. You don't want to go into that game off the back of 3 games with no win. You absolutely don't want to do that. I mean, look, he's not going to. Philip Jorgensen's not going to start in goal. Absolutely no chance there. Just as Leicester last term, has Maresca hit his ceiling? No, he hasn't hit his ceiling. Absolutely not. I think it's fair to say that at times maybe there could be a little bit of a lack of a plan B potentially. I don't think that's unfair to say. I'd make 2 changes. So I'm going to get into that in a sec. Only Liverpool cruise through the games. Yeah. Ipswich is dangerous from set pieces and crosses. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's not our strongest point. We have to be honest with ourselves here. That isn't our strongest point. But again, let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see what happens. But guys, we're 10 likes away from 100. Keep smashing that like button. Come on, people. Think we win tomorrow, but draw at Palace. We really need 2 wins from these away games, to be honest, guys. We do need 2 wins from these away games. But let's see what we can do. I'm expecting a difficult game tomorrow night. I really am. Poch in are so weird. Yeah, agreed. Tosin, not good in set pieces. Well, we didn't concede a set piece to Fulham. I think it was just 2 balls into the box. We didn't concede any set pieces. Yeah, look, let's wait and see. I mean, again, a Delap or Amari Hutchinson scoring. You can't rule either of those out. Or Hutchinson setting up Delap or vice versa. That's definitely something that could maybe happen, guys. But I'm going to bring up the lineup on the screen now. I'm going to go through the team that I would like to see play tomorrow. And we're going to go with, I mean, look, there's no point saying Jorgensen because it's a complete waste of time. Sanchez in goal. At the back, I don't see. I personally wouldn't change this partnership. The only thing you could do is bring in Disasi for Tosin, but I actually think Tosin's been pretty good the last few games. And then obviously Mark Cucurella continues at left back. Now the right back's interesting because Gusto hasn't been in the best form. Jorgensen did start against Southampton, which was strange. I don't know why he started against Southampton. I was glad we saw him, but it didn't make sense because there's been no other rotation in the goalkeeping department. So it is a strange one, guys. It is a strange one. I don't know really what the solution is. He was jogging against that one. He was. Because I wouldn't say he doesn't deserve to start, but you're not going to play Disasi at right back. And does he feel like he could trust Josh Achimpong and chuck him straight in? Maybe you could, but I wouldn't take that risk. I would still stick with Gusto, personally. But I could understand. I mean, you couldn't entirely rule out a Disasi at right back. I just don't think he fully trusts Achimpong to start a Premier League game yet. That's my thoughts on the situation. I mean, look, Achimpong could start tomorrow. I mean, no, because we haven't got the midfield players. We haven't got the midfield players to cover that. We haven't got a midfield player. If Lavia was fit and available, then yeah, you could maybe do that. But we don't have the midfield cover with Lavia at best fit enough for the bench. If Lavia's back, he's not going to start. So yeah, that obviously That doesn't really work. Bro, I don't think we're playing Disasi for set pieces. Vega in midfield, I don't see it personally. I think it will be the same again. I mean, changes that Maresca's talking about, there's very few changes that can actually be made. So I expect the midfield to look exactly the same. I'll go Caicedo, Enzo. See, I wonder whether you try something like this. Oh, Cole Palmer's going to play. I wonder if you try something like this. I wonder if you start Joao Felix. You play Pedro Neto down the left. Sancho, for me, has stunk up the gaff for the last 2 games. Played 180 minutes against Fulham and Everton, and it's not been good. So I won't be happy if I see him starting again. Mate, who else are we playing in midfield? Because Lavia's not fit. Maybe he'll be on the bench tomorrow, so he might come on. Dewsbury-Hall's not trusted. Chukwuemeka is obviously not trusted. Chukwu and Santos are both on loan. Cassidy, are we really going to say we're going to start Cassidy? Are we going to look at maybe putting Renato Vega in? I don't think so. I would then play Cole Palmer on the right. I play Palmer on the right. We just got to try something a bit different. Let's put Palmer on the right with Felix there. And then you play Nicholas Jackson through the middle. And then in possession, it becomes that box midfield. Cucurella goes alongside Caicedo. So this is in possession, basically. It would become that box midfield. So we would attack. We would attack like this. So that's what we would look like in possession, guys. I don't think that's that bad. That's what we'd. Oh yeah, no, yeah. The Lavia injury is worrying. For me, yeah. Palmer played off the right every game last season. That's what Palmer did last season. He played off the right every time. Look, this season he hasn't done that. He's obviously always played centrally. Would I play Madueke? No, probably not. I think he'll be on the bench, but you could make a case for him starting. But I think for me, Felix, yeah, I believe they do. So I think Jackson and Sanchez have got to avoid this game, and then I think it resets if I'm correct. Yeah, sure, but I don't think that means he's going to go straight back into the starting lineup. But again, I could be wrong. So for me, that is the team that I go with. That's how we would set up when we're in possession. Obviously, out of possession, it goes back into a back four with Cucurella back to left back. But yeah, that's what I would go with. Just try something a little bit different. Play Palmer to the right. Get Felix in there as well. Switch Neto to the left. Bench Sancho. Madueke back in the squad. That's the team that I would like to go with. Now, of course, will Maresca do that? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he won't. Guys, 5 more likes to 100. Let's get this done. Let's get this done. Run it up, people. Run it up. The likes help out more than you could imagine, people. More than you could imagine. So please do make sure you are liking the stream, guys. It really helps me out. And subscribe to the channel if you are new around here as well. That would be greatly appreciated, people. Would be massively appreciated. So please make sure you do that. Please make sure you do that. That would be greatly appreciated, guys. Would be greatly appreciated. So let's run it up. But that is the team that I'd go with, people. That is the team that I'd go with. So let's wait and see what Maresca goes with tomorrow night. But no, look, maybe he won't. But I don't think Sancho deserves to start because I think his last 2 performances have been very disappointing personally. But yeah, guys, get your score predictions in the chat. Get them in the chat, guys. What are you saying tomorrow? That's the team that I'd go with. Let's get the score predictions in, bro. I hope none of them score. But yeah, it will be even more annoying if either of those 2 players do score. Wouldn't be best pleased. 2 more likes to the 100 people. Let's do it. Kolo Muani isn't it? I'm sorry. No, fair enough. No excuses. 3-0 W. Let's do it. We're going 1-0. Like the lineup. Thank you. 2-2. I mean, that would be a dreadful result for us if that were to happen. We do need to get a win. We need to get a win. We've got a 2-2 or 3-1 Chelsea. We've got a 2-1 Chelsea. Yeah, guys, keep getting your score predictions in. I want to see how you guys are feeling about this game. How are you guys feeling? 3-1 to us. Ipswich home record is abysmal. Yeah, no wins at home this season. Newcastle went there and won 4-0, I think, last weekend. Or was it 5-0 in the end? Maybe it was 4. It was 4 or 5. I can't remember which one it was, but it was a high-scoring win. 4-0, yep. Please just end the year with a win. Yep, I absolutely agree with that. 1-1. Yeah, that wouldn't be great at all, guys. That wouldn't be great. Let's hope it's not a 1-1. What else are we looking at? We've got a 2-1 there. Yeah, that's the score prediction that I'm hoping for. Jackson hat-trick would be wonderful. Would be absolutely wonderful. But yeah, I'm going for a narrow 2-1 win, guys. This is going to be a tough game under the lights, evening game away from home, newly promoted side. It could be difficult, this. So yeah, they're going to have to be bang at it. Expect a couple of changes. I mean, I've made a few changes to the team in my lineup. Brought in Joao Felix, shifted Palmer. I say I made a few changes. I made one change. There's not that many changes we can make really with the personnel that are available. 3-0, fair enough. Expect a Felix top performance. Yeah, for sure. If he does start, I think he deserves to start this game. So let's wait and see what does happen on that. Jackson, I don't think he'll be resting for this game. Jackson won't play against Morecambe. So I think he'll play this game and then he'll play against Crystal Palace as well. Then he won't be involved in a cup tie against Morecambe. That's for sure. Yeah, bro, I had this conversation after the Fulham game. It's an interesting one, isn't it? It's not one that makes an awful it's not one that makes an awful lot of sense, but here we go. Here we go. But yeah, guys, unless anyone's got any last minute questions in the chat, let's see if there's been any further news. Let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look. Let's have a look if there's anything coming through. I don't think there's anything to go through. There's been a lot of news to go through, guys. Obviously, Kolo Muani, Chelsea's reportedly want him. So that's the big one. Let's wait and see how that one unfolds over the next few days as we head in. I hope Jackson beat his record. No, let's hope so. Yeah, no, fair enough. Jackson to silence the doubters tomorrow. Yeah, let's hope so, mate. New Year's resolutions. I don't really do them. Just do better than the previous year, basically. In a roundabout way. Where do you realistically think we can finish this season? Look, I think we'll finish top 4. I think the best we'll do, absolute best we could do, is second. But I think we'll finish third, which would be a very, very good season. Do you think that slowing down the game was Maresca's instructions? What, against Fulham? I don't know. I don't know is the honest answer to that. So let's wait and see. Happy New Year. Well, yeah, I'll be back before the end of the new year. I'll be back before the new year, guys. Don't worry. But thank you. Is Kolo Muani really that guy to help us? Look, for a 6 months loan, maybe he could be. But yeah, it's hard to tell. So we shall wait and see on that one. But yeah, guys, I'm going to round this one out here. Big love to everyone that's tuned in tonight. A massive thank you for the support. As always, as I mentioned earlier, we passed 15,000 subscribers this weekend. So big love to everyone who has been part of the journey, who supported myself and the channel. It's really appreciated. Onwards and upwards. Appreciate all of your support. Thanks so much for getting involved in the chat. Big thanks to Pius, as always, for jumping on as well. Let's hope we can round out 2024 with a win tomorrow. I'll be at Portman Road, guys. Match vlog will drop at full time, and then we'll be back on Tuesday night with a match reaction show as well, and any other transfer news also. Thank you for this comment, brother. Appreciate it. However, yesterday's comments on the guest was crazy. There's just Mariska sometimes downplaying the team's changes of winning. No, I don't think that was what was being said. I mean, I'm not sure what comment that's referencing to, but yes, thank you for your support. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, but yeah, big up. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate. Yes, big up, big up. Yeah, guys, big love, big love. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good day tomorrow, guys. I'll be match vlog from Portman Road dropping after the game. Stay tuned for that. Smash the likes on the way out. Subscribe, all of that good stuff. Love, and I am out of here. Peace.